Hey there, welcome to today's team call. It is October 19th, and I'm so glad that you're here with me. Before we jump into team call, I do want to welcome these new coaches to our team. I'm so proud of you for taking a chance on yourself. I'm so proud of you for saying yes to this business and to this team. I'm so proud of you for investing in yourself because that's pretty freaking scary. And you're facing your fears and you're taking that first step. Shout out to the coach who hooked you up because she's there to fight beside you. She's there to cheer you on. She's there with you and beside you every step of the way. So, coach, way to be a badass. Next, Success Club Rockstar. Shout out to Amy and Kyra for locking that shit in. They here to party. And that means Amy, of course, has her invite to Tennessee. And we do have some people right over there on the board. Just help a few more people, and you're going to be invited as well. The month isn't over. Keep going. Okay, what to know? If you missed it in the team page, the swag shop is open. It will be closing October 31st for our fall line. And if you haven't checked it out yet, oh my gosh, these designs are to die for. I'm so proud of them and just so excited for them. You will also notice that team call format has changed quite a bit. If you missed my live in the team page the other day, then you will note that my days are ending at 3 p.m. And that means I am not here, like legit 100% not here. The links are still open for action hours and for girl talk. I, however, will not be present. You may use them. I will not be there. Team call, in order to still deliver my promise to you, which is a weekly team call training so that you can grow your business, I will just be pre-recording it and it will be posted live that evening. So that's just the only little change. When you see it, just drop your takeaways from that call. And as always, if you go into the announcements in Divine Dynasty, you will see the playback list for all of the team calls that we have had, I think, in the past 2 years. The next thing is Girl Talk and Action Hours are still available. So those Zooms are still up and you can still use them. Better Together Retreat, mark your calendars and put it in on your vision, in your actions that you're taking daily. This is the last month to earn an invite. So our Success Club reward for this month obviously is that invite to the retreat. What the Better Together Retreat is, it's just our annual, it's normally a diamond retreat, but we kind of changed the parameters this year so that everyone could get there. Like there's no fear on the table, right? It's literally a choice. You get to decide if you want to grow and if you want to make an impact and if you want to fill your own cup, because I think that that's what these retreats are. It's just an opportunity to give to yourself. It's an opportunity to empower you. It's an opportunity to just sit with like-minded women. And like, that's so fucking powerful. But in order to qualify for that event, you must hit Success Club this month. And so if you need help with that, I'm here. Your coach is here. Whatever you need, don't hesitate reaching out, because if you wait until the end of the month, then it won't bless you trying to push for that. Start today. Upcoming what to know for Beachbody. 30-day breakaway customer window is now open. So hook your people up with 30-day breakaway. And if you still have yet to try the sample workout, then I'm going to recommend go try it. I know running's scary, but trust me, her coaching you, gosh, she is so freaking good at it. I don't know if you watched my stories, but the other day my child ran 3 minutes straight simply by listening to her and me. He did have me there coaching him. Like, all the tears, all the feels. What else to know? 9-week Control Freak will be releasing by the end of the year. The FAQ on that is 2026. If you have not tried the sample workout, I highly recommend it. If you do not know Autumn, she's a badass. She's going to make you work hard. She's going to have you throwing around weights. So be prepared to sweat your booty off. Other announcements. This past weekend was leadership, and I got to sit with Kyra, Renee, Amy, Sydney, and we just, oh my gosh, it was the best. Like, no words can describe the amount of gratitude and just appreciation I have for those women. But they announced at leadership that Sean T will be releasing a brand new workout program. If you do not follow him on Instagram, I think he released them on Instagram too. He shared some sneak peek moves in there so that you could get your booty shaken. So stay tuned for that. I know a lot of people loved Size. A lot of people love Sean T. So if you hype about that, then I'm gonna need you to drop a comment, okay? Also, super, super big deal. This may not be able to be released yet. So this is just me putting a little bug in, but we're going to have a preferred customer option coming soon. Instead of discount coaches, you can be a preferred customer. So, okay. Shh. Now let's go ahead and move on. Tonight's team call is going to be all about creating killer content, and I cannot wait to dive in this with you. Let me pull up that PowerPoint. All right. Can you see me? Thumbs up? Yeah. Okay. So, creating killer content. I don't know about you, but who struggles with knowing what to post, how to get the engagement, what to say? I think when we become new coaches, it's like this, all of a sudden, it's like the spotlight's on you, and you're like, what do I do with my hands? Right? Like, we constantly second guess ourselves. We constantly are like, but is that what we should be doing? And so I just wanted to share this PowerPoint to help give you some tips and just ensure that the content you're bringing is of value to your customers. So first things first, when you go to your social media, the first thing you want to do is you want to audit your page. And obviously this is my Instagram, but you can also do this on your Facebook. But you want to audit it and ask yourself, are your posts saying, look at me, or are they saying, learn from me? And maybe you can't tell in just the pictures, but go through your words. What voice, what language, what message are you sending to those people who are following you, right? The last 9, if you can look at your little last 9, right? The last 9 posts or pictures, how many of them taught something or offered some piece of value? And I think that that's super important, because so many times, again, we can get in the, oh, well, we just have to post something once a day, but we forget that the person on the other end of the screen, honestly, their only thought is, what's in it for me, right? Like, what are they going to get out of liking your picture? What are they going to get out of following you? And I know that seems a little bit like harsh, but it's the truth. Every single human wants to know what's in it for them. So look at your last 9. And right now I want you to count how many of those taught something or offered value. And if you're like 3 or less and you're kicking yourself in the ass, it's okay. This is not a way to shame you. This is simply to shed light on the actions that you're currently taking so that we can improve and make sure that we're actually doing the things that we need and want to do, right? Look at your last 9. How many of them are of your face? Because you are building a business, it's so incredibly important that you are the face of your business. They're not coming here to look at your shake for the last 9 things, right? They're not here to come look at your weights for the last 9 things. They're not here to come look at your personal development book for the last 9. What do your last 9 look like? Is it showing you are building a business, or is it just nothing, right? Now, the tricky question, how many of those pictures are the exact same pose? This is where you're going to get in that new coach headspace of, okay, I took my selfie, I got my workout done, and that's it, right? And you'll notice, if you're guilty, you'll notice. And if you go through mine, you'll see that when I was a new coach, I did the same thing. But the cool thing about it is I'm a vet. I've been here for 5 years. I get to teach you better because you don't know what you don't know. And I'm here to help you with that, which if you are doing the selfie challenge in the Emerald Tribe, then this, has already been the goal, is to really change up the poses and bring something new and fresh. And then when you look at it, is your last 9, your social media page, is it a family album, or are you actually building a business here, right? Like, when you post it, is it just you and your kids sitting on the couch? Is it just you going to the grocery store, right? Like, how on Facebook it's, oh, here's a picture, now we're on with our life. Here's a picture, now we're on with our life. It comes back again to the value. Are you using it as a valuable platform or just to show off? 100%. So this is for you to audit yourself. I'm not here to judge you, to shame you, to anything. I'm here to give you tips and tricks so that you can grow from it. But if you don't know the answers to these, you're not going to know what little things you can do to change it and improve. So, as a business owner, as the CEO, as having this social media platform, it's so incredibly important that you are purposeful. I want you to be purposeful. In your posts, ask yourself, do you want to educate them? Do you want to entertain your followers? Or are you here to inspire them? Do you want to give them tangible tips and tricks and tools? What is it that you can bring? That way they have value, right? All of those things that we just talked about, those are all value points and all something that someone can gain from following you. So when you go to make the post, you have to ask yourself, is this post serving anyone other than me? So for example, if you're taking a picture of your baby's feet and throwing it up there and saying, oh, cute little piggies, how's that helping anyone, right? And maybe you just want to share that picture because it's part of your life and your journey. Okay, that is for your Facebook feed, right? Like that's what your Facebook is for. Just go post it on your Facebook. Love on your little baby's toes because they're only going to be little for so long. But don't use that on your business platform because unless you have something to talk about to bring value to them, it doesn't quite matter, right? So is this post serving anyone other than me? And you have to remember, it's not about having 15 different posts a day. It's not even about having 4 posts a day. It's about bringing quality content to your page. The posts that you're making, do they mean or matter, right? Consistency is key. And if you're like that person who's struggling of, oh my gosh, I can't even make 1 post today, how am I going to create consistency in this? Then that's your first goal, right? You have the big end of the finish line, but we have to start at step 1. If you're not consistently making a post every day, then that's where you have to start. You have to start in that place. So start posting every day with purpose. And if you've never used my planning tools, then girl, where you been? Because my planning tools really help you lay that out. And each month we sit down together and we do a social media planning session for the month of heads. So you should already have plenty of ideas. And if you're still struggling on what value you can bring, what purpose you can post with, then reach out. I won't be able to help you if I don't know you're struggling, right? So just be aware and have some sort of strategy for success. Me personally, I normally sit down at the beginning of the week and I create my plan from there. And it's always changing. It's always something new. And you're going to grow and learn as you go. But remember, purpose is everything. When you're making posts, it's important to understand that not everybody thinks like you. And I know this was a huge thing for me because I just thought, well, everybody just thinks like I do. But what I've learned is I am totally an oddball, right? Like not everyone thinks like me at all. And so here's some different personality types that you can think of when you're making your post. There's the red personality type, and there's all sorts of different personality types and tests that you can go out there. But this was just something shared to me by Ashley Laughlin, and I wanted to kind of bring that to you. So red people, they are decision makers. They don't need a lot of fluff and a lot of this big fancy story. They want few words and they want it to be easy to read. They're ready to make a decision right now. They're literally like they're going, right? They're going. So blue people, they really want that connection. They're very emotionally driven. They love the stories and those visual pictures that create the connection. They're all about the cause and that emotion behind it. Then you have the green people. Green people are very logistic. They want all the details. They love all the tips and strategies. And to them, every word matters. So when you're making posts for green people, it's important that you think of those ideas. And then you got your yellows. They have FOMO like nobody's business. They're all here for the fun. They love laughing and smiling, and they're just here to be witty and adventurous and entertaining, right? Like they want to see you smile. So when you're making your different posts, it's important that you kind of get a combination of all these. And maybe you're like, whoa, but I don't know how to think like someone else. That's okay. No one says you have to know how to do this right now. It's just something to keep in the back of your mind as you're building a business and as you're creating posts. So now, how do we put it together? You have a problem, and it's your job to offer them a solution. And that's essentially the whole goal in your entire business, right? You take the problem that they have and you give them a solution. But here are some different types of posts that you can make, because maybe you're like, all right, well, that still doesn't help me make my post, right? So at Leadership, we learned these 3 V's on the different types of posts that you can have so that you can get traction in your social media. The first type is viral. These posts are all easily shareable. You'll see on the left-hand side right here a couple of examples I have. I love following the page Enneagram and Coffee because I love seeing like my Enneagram types and different things that she shares. And here's some things recently that I just literally screenshotted and saved in my own phone or saved on my Instagram. And that's the goal of these, right? The goal is someone can come to my social media and they can go to my Instagram and they can be like, oh my gosh, that post. And then they're going to click the save button, or they're going to send it to their best friend who they're like, oh my gosh, this is so you. Oh my gosh, this is so us. Oh my gosh, this is so funny, right? So these viral posts are very simple like that. Something that your audience can relate to. You can get it from another page. So if you follow a page that you absolutely love and they always share these little things, you can simply share it in your stories, share on your page, and then it gives someone that can relate to that something to tag and share from, right? The goal is to get more saves, more shares. Why? Because the algorithm gets bumped. Everybody says, hey, she's got an awesome post. And then guess what? New eyes are on your page. So when you're thinking of different types of posts, viral posts are a great way to do it. When you're making these viral posts, it's important though that it matches your brand. Remember how we just did all the branding? Make sure it matches your brand. The second V is something called value. And we kind of talked about this up above. But the goal with value posts is to educate people. It really creates a bond with your followers and it allows you to serve them. And then when you're giving them things, they're like, hey, I want to follow this girl. Look at these cool tips she has. I'm here for it. And it also allows people to save and share. I do a lot of value posts like this, where it's like, okay, here's the problem, tip, 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 right? I love that. And you'll see as the example here is my reel on pay off the debt. That actual post went viral and had over 5,000 likes and shares, or likes and interactions. So just see how simple that one thing, all because I got creative, how many new eyes got on it, and it was adding value to their life. And so people followed me from that. So what are different things that you can teach? And you can see right here, I have the format that you can set your post up in. But I want you to think of different things that you can teach. Remember, you're going to learn something by teaching it. So if you're like, well, I can't talk about nutrition. No, I don't eat right. Well, maybe you need to talk about nutrition, because not only will you learn, but you'll be able to teach those people. You have to learn it in order to teach them, right? This could be fitness, for me, gratitude, obviously coaching. I'm really good at mentoring other people. So different tips for business builders or social entrepreneurs have really been blowing up in my own content. People love those. And so I'm really making sure that I'm bringing more of that. But you got to ask yourself, what can you teach? I know I'm not the girl who's going to teach people how to do hair or makeup or anything like that. But I can teach people how to make a plan. I can teach people how to get shit done. So those are things that I am here to show. The last type of V post is vulnerable. And obviously with our health and fitness journey, this can be something like our transformation. This is sharing our products. This can honestly be any vulnerable post that you want to talk about. But the goal of it is to create an even deeper connection, to really build the trust and relate to your follower. It creates that genuine relationship where they're sitting in that story and they're saying, oh my gosh, she's telling my story. Oh my gosh, I feel that exact same way. Oh my gosh, she understands me. So being vulnerable and putting yourself out there, while it can be super scary, when you can learn to make those posts, and like here you have the format: headline, setup, deliver the story, tell the transformation, inspire, and bring a call to action. You're really going to be able to start painting that picture and connect with them emotionally while you're being vulnerable and allowing them to trust you. we were taught this thing called HIKA. And this is a way you can format your post so that it's easily laid out and you don't have to think about it, right? So the first start is the hook or the introduction. It's a bold question and it's eye-catching. So if you go to your social media, it may not let me use my phone and the computer at the same time. If you go to it, you're going to notice in your Instagram that there's just a little bit that gets shown, right? Like your whole text does not get shown. So go through there and just without seeing more, read those first few words. Is it something that's going to draw people in, or is it totally boring, right? Then the second piece of it is the introduction. You're going to introduce what you're talking about so that they can decide if they want to stick around for the story or not. The third is the content, which is all the juicy details, the things that you have to talk and share about. And then you're going to end it with a call to action so that they know if you're wanting them to like your post, if you're wanting them to comment, if you're wanting them to save, to share, all of those things. Follow this HIKA format and it'll really guide you and help you learn how to create your posts. Most important, though, really is being creative. They can go to anyone to find fitness. They can go to anyone to find nutrition. They can go to anyone to find mom stuff, right? So what sets you apart and how can you be creative? Really create content to show your different products. The cool thing about social media now is there's so many different avenues to deliver. You have reels, you have IGTV, you have posts, you have stories. You have all of these amazing resources for free. Like you're not paying for them, right? So how are you using those tools and resources to really get creative and have fun? If you saw my van payoff celebration, then we made a fun little reel where we celebrated. It was so fucking cute. I loved it. And what did it show? It showed me celebrating one big goal. It showed my family having fun, and that connected with other people because they're like, oh my gosh, look at them, right? Like it was entertaining. It was hilarious. And I shared tips to help them do the same thing. So when you're speaking to your audience, you got to ask yourself, what does your audience want to see? And where are they going? When you're in social media scrolling, are you sitting on reels all day long watching them? Are you in Instagram, in IGTV watching those videos? Are you just looking at posts? Are you looking at stories? Because chances are your followers are the ones you want to attract. They're looking in the same places, right? So you're not going to be making a million IGTVs if you never watch IGTVs, right? That doesn't make sense. So where's your audience going to be? And most important, you have to have fun with this, right? Like the whole point and the whole coolest part of our job is that we get to have fun. So when you look at your feed, this is a question that I've asked every single week for 4 weeks now. When you look at your feed, what will your audience gain? What will they see? What will they feel? And what will they be inspired to do? Because those are the questions you really want to ask yourself. That way you know you're being the business owner, the CEO that you have pictured here and that you want to be. And it's okay if you're not there yet. It will take time to grow into that. But the question you have to ask yourself is, what action do you have to take now to get you to where you want to be? So hopefully these tips were super, super helpful. All right, Amy, do you have any questions for me or anything to add?
I don't think so. I think you pretty much hit it all. I think sometimes just making sure, like with the social media planning and things like that, like just like you said, having something to fall back on if you feel like you need it, and just being flexible and knowing that things can change along the way, because the plans will change. You'll have a middle of the month idea to do something different, and that's okay too. It's all a part of growing, and it's all a part of business. And so I think for people that think that they can't plan because they need to be spur of the moment, this is something to fall back on if you need it. I fall into that category a lot. Like, I can't plan anything. That is nice to have when you need a plan, because you start floating along your month and you're like, what am I actually supposed to be doing here? Go back and look. Are you actually following what you set out to do? Are you actually looking at what you need to be sharing? Are you sharing too much of this, that, and the other? do you need more variety? Do you need more value? And it's important to be able to go back and audit yourself on those things, because I was just thinking the same thing as you were going through the call.
I absolutely love that you say that, because honestly, even though I make a social media plan every Sunday, every single week something changes. Every single week I miss one of my posts. Every single week I'm just rolling with the punches. And so I love that you gave that permission, because I think it's so important. It's easy to get caught up in the, well, this is how it's supposed to be. But the truth is, life never goes how it's supposed to be.
No, I literally just did a live today, like on my Facebook, and I'm still getting into Reels and figuring that out, because my Instagram, I cannot ever find the option for Reels. I'm just gonna have to do more into that. I don't know if it needs to be updated, but I just did a live today on my Instagram, on my Facebook, about overcoming anxiety and finding your triggers, and how it's different for me now than what it used to be, and giving permission, to be able to feel your feelings and that kind of thing, kind of speaking to the person that's struggling with anxiety and the person who's loving somebody who's struggling with anxiety. And, but it goes back to the last team call that we had recorded. It's not about sitting in that place. It is, how did you get out of it? What did you do to carry yourself through it? What's the sunshine on the other end? Because you're going to get your Me Too factor, and you're offering them good content for something that is not really in the realm of health and fitness, but they don't realize what else we do, because that is a huge part of what we do. We know that, but they don't always know that. They're going to focus on what they want to focus on, unless you turn the light to that direction.
Boom. Preach it, girlfriend. I love it. Okay. I'm going to stop the recording here.